Hey friends, welcome back to another speed build. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and I decided to do a build challenge, and I'm doing a build based off of Plumbella's build challenge generator. So if you haven't seen or if you're not familiar with it, I'll link it below, but it basically just generates a few different parameters for what to build. So for this one, the building style of the house is a tiny home, and your color themes are red, orange, and gray. It will have 2 floors and 4 rooms, and your budget is $14,852. And it houses 6 Sims, and the disadvantage is that you cannot use anything other than base game. I've been wanting to do a build challenge for a while, so I thought this would be really fun and really kind of unique. So yeah, this was definitely a challenge. It's a lot of Sims to fit into one house that's, obviously very small. It's a tiny home, but it also only has 4 rooms. So I basically just do one big room for the kitchen, dining, and living room, and then a bathroom, and then a parent's bedroom, and then one other room for all the kids. So this, basically can sleep 2 parents, 3 kids, and then I did a toddler bed. Obviously, you can swap that out if you do want to download this house for some reason. It is on the gallery. It's, doesn't end up being the most beautiful house, but, since it's only 14, it's like under 15,000 simoleons, it's definitely a starter. So, yeah. And having to do 2 separate floors also made it more difficult because the stairs just had to go up into one of the bedrooms. So I did try at one point to kind of separate it off a little bit, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it that I liked. So I think it ends up looking okay. But yeah, if it had been one story, I think this would have been quite a bit easier. I would have spent less money on, stairs and everything. But I think overall, it turns out okay. There's certainly room for improvement, for, if you wanted to use this house for some reason. And I actually started building this house from just like how you can enter build mode directly from the world map. But then I couldn't set how much money I had, so I ended up having to like demolish it and start over. Luckily, I didn't make it very far before I realized that. And I also forgot that there was like color themes that I needed to use. So I first started using a lot of greens and other colors like right here in the living room. But I will eventually go back and kind of recolor everything. So that made it, take a little bit longer. But yeah, overall the house, it's pretty basic, since I was so constrained on only base game and under 15,000. And for so many Sims. If I didn't have to buy so many beds, I probably could have done a little bit more. But yeah, there will be at least one toy in the kids' room. Not really much going on in the parents' room. I do get in a wardrobe. Yeah, eventually it'll be a wardrobe later on, in a rug here. So that's nice, but yeah, not too much going on. I think here is where I realized that I needed to use those certain colors, so now I'm going back through and recoloring some things. But yeah, overall, very basic. I did at least get a TV downstairs in the living room, so there's that kind of activity. There is also an easel and a small set of books, which should function like a bookcase, so there's at least, some skill building items in the house. But definitely a good starting point for if you're doing any sort of challenge and you don't have a lot of money to start off with. And yeah, since I did, I put in a toddler bed, I needed to put in the toddler potty, so that had to go downstairs, and that was an extra expense that I probably didn't need to do, but I just kind of wanted to vary it up so it wasn't just like a whole bunch of the same bunk bed. And yeah, and you'll have to let me know if you've tried this challenge before and what you ended up having to build, because I did cheat a little bit, and I did randomize a few times because I wanted to get something that would be somewhat doable, because I mean, I think I got, a couple other ones that had like really huge budgets, but it was like a bunch of rooms and a whole bunch of stuff that I needed to do. So I wanted something really simple for this, just to kind of test it out and see how it went. Plus, it's always nice to have more, base game builds and tiny homes. Yeah, like this is technically a tiny home, even though I wasn't able to use the tiny home pack. So it definitely forced me to use items that I don't ever really use, especially in the bathroom here. Like this weird grayish toilet and sink, and I think the tub is like technically matches, like the bottom part is the same color. But yeah, the color themes that I had to work with were certainly challenging. But yeah, so outside, I ended up doing kind of a covered patio area. I ended up having some extra tiles because I went with the largest of the tiny houses. So I had up to 100 tiles that I could use. So I did make a little bit of an outside patio or deck, I guess. There's nothing really usable on it. I end up using quite a bit of debug stuff for landscaping and some other decorative items. But since I needed to use like red, orange, and gray, I decided to do mostly gray for the house with some red accents, which was certainly interesting. It's not a color combination I would have normally chosen for this house, but I don't know, it kind of works. I don't know if I'll ever do it again on purpose, or by choice, but yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. It's certainly an interesting looking house. And the funny thing is too, if you create a 6-sim family and move them into a house, I think you get like closer to 30,000 simoleons to start off with, which would be, double the budget that I had. If I had that much money, I probably could have done something pretty nice with this house. Like I really would have loved to get a computer. That's, super useful. I might have been able to if I didn't do the TV and the table it was sitting on. I might have been able to do a computer if I got rid of something else, but it was really stretching the bank to even do what I did on this one. I think at one point I get down to like 19 simoleons. I think the challenge says I'm like supposed to use exactly that amount of money, but that's like impossible. So I did not do that. So you can call me a cheater if you want to, but I could not figure out how to spend the like remaining 19 simoleons that I had. And the next build that I'm coming out with is actually a tiny home as well. I didn't mean to do 2 tiny homes. Like I didn't really plan it out that way. But that's okay. I like doing tiny homes. They're fun. It's certainly, an interesting challenge to try and get things in a smaller space. Plus, if you have the tiny living stuff pack, you get a whole bunch of benefits from living on a tiny lot. So, definitely helps with gameplay anyway. And actually, this would be kind of a fun house to go back and remodel using like more packs and more money, just to kind of see what I could do with it. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that at some point. But yeah, just doing the lighting for the lot now. Pretty simple, not a lot of money or anything. So use just kind of the regular smaller spotlights pretty much throughout. I really wanted to try and get some other lamps and stuff in, but with them all being, more expensive, I didn't really have the money for that. But, at least the smaller spotlights lit up the place really nicely. And then, yeah, I was trying to figure out how to spend the small amount that I had left with some maybe artwork or plants or something. But yeah, couldn't really find anything that I liked. I used this sort of like debug table and chairs in the back just to fill up space. They're not usable or anything, unfortunately, but just so that there's something back there. And yeah, I found this like little archway to put at the front, and then this sort of gardening bench or table. You won't see me put more items on that bench, but I do end up adding some things before I uploaded it. So there is some more debug things like on top of the bench, so it looks a little bit nicer. And really the rest of this is just going through debug to try and find anything else that I possibly can. And then that will pretty much wrap it up. This was a pretty quick video, a pretty quick build too. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. If you want to see more challenge videos like this, I would love to do them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a short one, but I appreciate it. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you would like to see more. Thank you so much. Have a great day.